guess I'll wait a couple minutes for this unscheduled live video. Maybe we'll get a couple people in here, hopefully have some interesting questions. I was trying to get my computer set up, but it's taken hours to update for some reason, so I probably shouldn't skip the update process repeatedly. Let's see here. Fatal four-way happened yesterday, and Chance Shaw, Jordan Seal, Don Underwood, and Mike Aiello competed in Oklahoma. Now, leading up to this event, the plan seemed to change all the time. Initially it was a Mike Aiello, Don Underwood super match. Then they threw in one or two more people, being Chance Shaw and Jordan Seal. Right? I think I was under the impression that it was some type of round robin. Everybody pulls everybody. At one point, I think it was everyone pulls everyone one time. Then I heard that it wasn't a round robin. It was really like a four-man bracket. And then they would each pull maybe like best of three each round. But the winners of the first two matches compete for the event win. Then I heard it was like a round robin again, but it was only one match per round. And I think Chance there was a lot of confusion. People were asking me about it, and then I think even Chance made a video saying that it was maybe a round robin, but one match per round. And then sure enough, yesterday, it's a round robin event, predetermined matches, and it's 3 matches per round. And it just so happened that the draw kind of was weird. And just in general, I think the round robin is a shitty arm wrestling format, especially when you have like a small number of people. If you have even one match, that's tough. Like, let's say each round was one match only. You have one tough match and you're reduced 10%. The other guy flashes, your opponent in the previous round flashes his opponent. Like, you're not going to beat that guy, assuming the matches were close to begin with, or even if they weren't close. Hypothetically speaking, if, let's say, I'm pulling Rob Vigent on one side of the bracket, or one round of the round robin, Rob takes my hand, we have a war, I lose, Joe Blow could be my next opponent, and I'm probably going to lose, or I could lose, right? My hand will be vulnerable, it'll be gassed out, there'll be an advantage there. Overall, shitty format, and that kind of explains my title. Do these guys even arm wrestle? I don't know why they would really agree to this. Yeah. And I don't know if it's like, is it arrogance? Like, everyone just thought, oh yeah, I'm going to dominate everyone in this event, so the draw doesn't matter, or the round robin aspect doesn't matter, the endurance doesn't matter. It's only going to help me because I'm flashing everybody I pin, or maybe I'm flashing my first round opponent. So if you're Jordan, you might think, oh, well, I'm going to flash Chance a couple times, and then Don and Mike are going to be burnt out, and vice versa. Maybe Chance thinks that he could beat Jordan easily. But just a shit format. I don't know why promoters don't see it. I don't know who promoted this event. Typically promoters you have a lot of new promoters, but generally speaking, the people that put on the most tournaments are very experienced arm wrestlers and promoters. And I think the event might have simply been better if you just had a Mike and Don match, and you just had a Chance and Jordan match. Knowing that you're in a round robin, I think you're not going to fight as hard to win certain matches, because if you're going to get like extremely gassed out and lose, you know you're going to lose out the rest of the day. So I think there's some energy conservation that goes into it, and maybe even some injury preservation. And I don't mean major injury. You should always have that type of injury preservation, but I don't know if you're going to go all out, considering you have multiple rounds against other individuals. You're going to say, yeah, this guy probably has me beat. Let me like take it easy. And even if you don't decide to lay down or simply take it easy, you're not going to be balls to the wall because you think there's like another route to get second or another route to beat someone else in one of the other rounds. Garbage format. I have seen the round robin used in other situations where I really liked it. There was an event a long time ago. I don't know if it was 2011, 2012, 2013, maybe somewhere in there. I think it was done in Nevada, and they tried to do round robin for every weight class. I think that's how it was posted on the flyer, and which is problematic, right? If you have 20 people show up for each class and every class is round robin, it might take you days to do this event. I think they ended up doing a standard double elimination for every class except one. And there might have been, I don't know if it was like a 176 or a 185 class, but they did round robin. There was at least 10 people there. And so like, it was just crazy. So of course there were some matches that impacted the next round, but the thing is, it just lasted so long. It was very entertaining. I think Nano Cruz was at this event, and at the time I think he was kind of new and maybe unknown. I think he beat Brandon Dye, who probably would have been a national champion already at that point. Just very interesting. You know, it's almost like in the same line as Gary Roberts, you know, ROTN type model, where you have the heavy guy stay on the table and it's king of the hill style. It's not, that's not what you want to determine who's the best or to determine rankings. Like I wouldn't want king of the table for this fatal four-way, and I wouldn't want round robin for the fatal four-way, but king of the table and the fatal four-way are great for entertainment purposes when we're not trying to figure out, you know, number 7, 8, 9, and 10 in the North American super heavyweight rankings. So, you know, I kind of look at it as like a real fuck up. Like just it's kind of a wasted event. You know, let me check some comments first, make sure I'm not missing any questions on this part of the conversation. Daniel Vivas, why didn't Mike try to hold Chance low in the hand and force the hook? Seems to be always setting high and there's no change of strategy. Yeah, I mean, there's like technical things you can do to counter, you know, all kinds of things. That doesn't mean that every individual can execute those strategies, right? Like for example, myself, I'm a outside side pressure guy. I'm kind of versatile, but like I wouldn't feel comfortable, you know, grabbing someone like just low on the wrist or arm. Like I don't train that way. I don't think I have that kind of horsepower to do that to anybody, or at least not even a serious match. You know, I can probably go to local events and just do that to everybody, or a lot of people. But yeah, ultimately, if you don't train it, or if you're not gifted for it, you know, I don't know if Mike's gifted or like can move that way. You're not going to do it. It's actually kind of scary because you feel like you're going to lose. I'm not a very good like dumped wrist puller. Like you hardly ever see me starting this way, so it's very uncomfortable. But I know that there are certain people that I will pull against that I have to do that. Right? When I pulled Paul Passmore in 2019, I started out my normal move, like high riser. I went sideways. He scooped me into the hook and just pinned me. I said, okay, well, I have to do something different. And so I had to start in sort of a dumped and like pulled back position to sort of get my wrist out to top roll the guy. Very uncomfortable. I never really pull that way, but I knew I was going to lose so badly that I might as well try something different and have an opportunity to win. So yeah, Mike probably just doesn't train that way. And at some point, if a guy is strong enough, like grabbing him low will only make things worse. And again, let me double check this question, but you asked why didn't Mike grab Chance low? So again, round robin issues. That was the last match of the day for both of those guys. So Mike had nothing left. I think Mike was gassed after the first round. Had some echo going. So I'm trying to get my computer set up so I can read your comments more effectively. Okay, so this is set up now. Okay, and Stesta, S-T-E-S-T-A, I don't know what that's short for. High post is the best way to fight a good low hand top roll, isn't it? Oh, so that's a question. Is the high post the best way to fight a good low hand top roll? Hook is hard against a low hand top roll. Look, there's always multiple ways to skin the cat. I don't claim to be a technical expert, and it's always going to really depend on your particular abilities. I would personally go high post against a low hand top roll. That doesn't mean it's always going to work out, right? There are people that I've gone high against that tried to low hand, destroy the top of their hand, flash pin them to the pad. There are times where that slips. There are times where that goes to the strap, and there are times where I lose my hand in that position. But you know, I may have some riser position because they're dumping and I'm still pronating outward. So multiple ways to skin the cat, right? It really depends on like what you're genetically better at and what you practice, and then also what you feel comfortable doing. But yeah, good morning, Luke. Yeah, no problem, Daniel. But yeah, just a very crappy format. I guess the other like obvious issues, and I think I'll discuss some of the matches in detail, but Chance versus Jordan Seal. There was some backstory that made the match worth setting up, maybe, or there was a reason why you would even talk about it. It wasn't completely random, but Chance had beaten Jordan after Jordan had a super match at some tournament a while back. And so of course, right, if you're Jordan, you're going to say you're tired because he was, and you're going to say, well, I can beat Chance. You're definitely going to say it because Chance wears colorful shirts and glasses, and you're going to say, well, I have to beat this guy. I'm not going to let this guy just keep this win on me. But that's the extent of the value of the match, is that there was some history. Jordan Seal is not a top super heavyweight. I guess some people question whether Chance is a top super heavyweight, but he has a long string of victories on really good super heavyweights. The issue I have with some of those, or like the context, is that there's always something associated with the Chance win, whether the perception is right or wrong. It's like, okay, well, Chance beat this guy because he had a super match, or Chance beat this guy because he was injured, or Chance beat this guy in a tournament because he had a war the round before it. And so, like, and I've talked to Chance before about some of this stuff. If I'm Chance, like, my target or goal is to pull a guy who's really good, maybe not like the best, right? Not Devin or some of these guys, but pull someone who's really good, one-on-one, super match format, no excuses. Right? That's what I would be doing if I was Chance Shaw. And I think he knows that, he wants to do that, and he actually had set it up. It was him versus Ron Bath. And at the time, Chance was probably 270. I think a healthy Ron's 240, 250, and I think maybe Chance was going to cut down for that match. I could be wrong. But like, that would have been a definitive, I would become like the biggest Chance supporter. And I'm not like anti-Chance. I don't think the guys, I think he's strong. He'd probably beat me. But at that point, there's like no excuses. So that match was canceled because Ron was injured, I think. So not Chance's fault. but that was a missed opportunity. And so, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, who are you going to set up now one-on-one? But then, he kind of jumps into this fatal four-way. And again, the format doesn't help you prove much, right? The only thing that I would value in the fatal four-way is the first round, or are the first round matches. Mike and Don, Chance and Jordan. In the case of Jordan, the only thing it would prove is, oh yeah, well, Chance beat him already. He beats him again. Okay, yeah, Chance can beat Jordan, no excuses. It didn't matter if Jordan was tired or not. But Jordan is 225, 230. Chance is, I think someone said 303 pounds. And Chance is ranked in the super heavyweight. Jordan is ranked at 230. Like, it really doesn't prove anything. This is Justin Bishop all over again, right? Chance, I don't know how many years ago now, but Chance had pulled Justin Bishop. I think he got a win on him. I don't think he won the super match, but I think he got a win on Justin. And I think it's like, who cares? That's the hard part when you're pulling down. Like, pulling up is fun. Pulling down, like, it really doesn't make sense. Unless there's a lot of money on the line, or you really dislike the guy and you want to prove a point. Or that little guy has just such a pedigree, right? Like John Brzezinski or Rob Vidget maybe. So yeah, let's look at some of these comments maybe. Steve Sta says, I was blown away how easy Jordan beat Mike though. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So, okay, so first round, Chance versus Jordan. Jonathan Burrito was here a few times this week pulling. We talked about the matches quite a bit. I'm not surprised that Jordan lost so easily. And I don't think the weight matters, but it doesn't. So, what do you do against Chance? We discussed the Mike situation. Do you go high? Do you go low? I would go high, but I thought because Jordan kind of pulls from the bottom of his hand and dumps his wrist, I didn't think Jordan was going to be a good match for Chance. I think stylistically it just wasn't going to go well. Also, Jordan is probably the most hit or miss up and down arm wrestler in all of American arm wrestling. And this, I don't think I created this idea. I think other people have seen it, and it's been discussed, I think, over the years. There are times where Jordan shows up and you swear this is like the next Brzezinski, and there are times where he shows up and it's just kind of like, who is this guy? I don't know what it is, but I'm not surprised at all by that match. And honestly, there's really nothing to talk about. I couldn't tell that he made adjustments. He might have done something slight, but again, most people are going to stay in like that, the box that they feel comfortable in. Right? Some people have a very small box. Some people have a big box. So yeah. Mike and Don, I thought Mike would have won that easy. I was surprised that the first match took a lot of effort, and ultimately I think both of those guys got gassed. It doesn't take a whole lot, right? Anytime a match stops, especially the way that one did, and you're struggling and you're like maxing out to finish a guy, I mean, you just went down like a bunch of notches. Whereas Chance didn't lose anything beating Jordan, and Jordan only lost a little bit trying to hold off Chance. And I mean, just think about it. Go load up a bar, pick whatever lift you want, deadlift, bench press, squat, curls, whatever, and lift something that's like your absolute maximum, right? If you lift something that you can't lift, you'll just drop it, right? Or you can't lift it, or it'll just open you up. You won't put up any resistance. It probably won't fatigue you a whole lot. But if you lift something or hold something that you are like equal to, but you can't complete the lift, and you're just sitting there grinding it up, you will be done, right? Those guys were done after that first match. I don't know what Mike Aiello's training is like. If you look at the guy, he's in very good shape. I don't know what his arm wrestling condition is like. Don, I don't think is like healthy at all. Any like interpretation of that word. So yeah, those guys were done. Fast forward to the next round, and you get you get Mike Aiello, the winner of his first round match, against Jordan Seal, the loser of that first round match. That was weird. Not surprised that Jordan top rolled him. Jordan potentially could give Mike trouble, fresh for fresh, due to styles if the good Jordan shows up. I would still put money on Mike. But again, you have a basically fresh Jordan versus a gassed Mike Aiello. Not surprised. Then you get Chance versus Don Underwood. Again, Don is probably dead. Not just his arm, but probably his whole body. Chance wins that easy. What was interesting in that, I don't usually rewatch these things, but I went to rewatch it just to see if I saw anything interesting. And I think they both had their grip. Chance complained, I think, that Don was cupped in and maybe not square. And the ref didn't really correct Don. Don heard the complaining. Don squares up, changes his arm angle, and says, "You good with that?" Right? Don was very arrogant, right, and cocky or overconfident, whatever you want to call it. So Don has a good setup that didn't look illegal, but again, we didn't have the best camera angle, and out of arrogance, he just gives it up because in his head, he knows he's going to crush Chance. And then Chance just like waxes him. Kind of funny. Chance wins that easy. You go to the next round. Again, you have Chance versus a tired Mike Aiello, who also just got his hand stretched out a couple times by Jordan Seal. Of course, that's an easy win for Chance. And then Don versus Jordan. I'm not surprised that Don wins, even if he's tired, just because it's a styles matchup. Yeah, just a very disappointing event. As standalone matches, Mike and Don may have been more interesting if there wasn't maybe an idea that you needed to save energy to win the other matches. Like I think maybe Don could have gone harder or something, but again, I don't think he's in great condition. And then Chance and Jordan, that match really didn't have a whole lot of value on it to begin with, especially 300 pounds versus 230. And but again, personal stuff, right? Chance wanted to let that guy know that, yeah, I beat you that day and I can beat you now. Let's look at some of the comments. Do I think Chance is set up with stylistic kryptonite for this bunch, or he's legit stronger as well? I think it was kryptonite for Jordan. I don't know that it was kryptonite for Mike and or Don. But Don's not what he used to be, so Chance might mop Don every day of the week. And then Mike's kind of like one-dimensional. Chance is one-dimensional too. But yeah, again, I can't even say that it was kryptonite for those two guys because I don't value the matches because they were tired, right? I don't know everyone in the comments, but you let me have a war with someone and lose my hand, and some of you guys are probably going to top roll me. Luke Pulsher says the ref didn't correct much. Correct. You got garbage referees at most of these events. I generally don't have a problem with many rule sets. I think WAL's fine. There's some, it can affect different people. Like I don't pull in WAL, so it's gonna be weird for me to close my thumb, close my hand. Like I don't know if I'll be as effective, but when the rules are applied correctly, all of these rule sets do fairly well. It'll look different. You might have more fouls in one versus the other. The other won't call as many fouls, but some of the matches will be very questionable and sloppy. But with good refereeing, they all work. In the case of a lot of these events, you just have non-existent reffing. I even rewatched the Chance versus Bowen match just to see what it looked like. And I mean, garbage referees. Alex1750 says he agrees 100%. By the way, I wonder where's the 240-pound TAL version of Jordan that steamrolled Todd Hutchins. Yeah, if you are a decently in shape, lean individual, like Jordan and some of the other athletes, and Jordan is sometimes 210, going up to 240 while being more muscular and leaner, it's not very easy to do. It's definitely not easy to maintain that condition. I would say it's very costly to maintain that condition. And I'm not talking about supplements, probably metabolically, time, general resources, mental energy, time with the family. I think it's incredibly costly to do that. There may be even some health costs. So, yeah, that guy's gone. I think, and I don't know if you, and then, you know, when you do stuff like that, and I've never been there, but I imagine you kind of look back and go, man, that was hard, I don't want to do it again, or man, that was risky, I don't want to do it again, or wow, I did all that for some, no offense, TAL event that's really not a world stage. And then you ask yourself, do I want to do that again for Tulsa, Oklahoma? The answer is probably no. And again, you know, Jordan's not a great super heavyweight. You know, he should probably stay at 230 and under. So it's probably not worth it. You take that risk, you gain 10 more pounds, and then you got to pull some real monsters, right? And he had a good day, but again, he's up and down, period. You know, I don't know if he has that same day with that same group of guys. Let's see here. Kirsten says, hey buddy. Yep, good hearing from you, Kirsten. Roni, I have my first tournament in 3 weeks. What do I recommend? I recommend you get a good coach if you don't have one. The ref let Chance set up as he wished, it looked like to me. Yeah, so like these are just kind of garbage events, you know? And you know, I would feel like I would feel bad if I go to this event and I set up neutral, kind of normal, square shoulders, and then my opponent's like this, right? Like literally like this. When the camera is sideways, you can see the guys hold back. And that's not just Chance, that's a lot of people, you know? And I'm gonna be at the table saying, square him up. And someone's gonna be like, Herman's always complaining, blah, 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 you know? But there's an advantage. There's a reason why these things are in the rules, you know, and God forbid someone calls out his opponent for maybe not fighting within the rules. Let's see here. Luke Pulsher, so tired of crappy reffing. It's not that hard to get at least one ref to the event. Pullers deserve it. Yeah, and again, good reffing doesn't have to be necessarily WAF and every match ending on fouls. At the same time, if it is WAF rules and every match is ending on fouls, the puller probably needs to keep his elbow on the pad. Kirsten, I still think that your match was misbalanced back in Turkey. You did great. Can't wait to see your next match. I know I could have won that match in Turkey. Yeah. I don't need to talk about it anymore, but that refereeing was fun. And you know, some people will think, oh, I'm crazy for thinking I could have beaten this big guy. I've beaten bigger guys. I've beaten guys that are probably on more steroids. But he's a very good arm wrestler. But I have way more tools. I have more endurance. And you couldn't hear, but this guy was just dying up there. Left-handed wasn't close though. I had no chance. Daniel Vivas, do you offer personal coaching online, and would I be interested? Not really, right? So my general thing is, you know, like local people, I kind of do my like duty to coach people, just like there's a Herman in Sacramento and there's a Herman in New York. Like you have to coach the new people. But when it comes to online training, and again, when I coach local people, like it directly helps me because I need people that are strong. I need people that know how to arm wrestle. I do like the idea of helping people in general. You know, I typically answer lots of questions for free, but it does take up a lot of time. I'm pretty busy. I've been more busy than I ever expected in the last 5 years. And as far as like personal coaching for hire, as I've told people, like, you really can't pay me enough money to coach you. Like, it just wouldn't be fair. You'd have to be some rich guy who's just giving money away, right? I know what I make like on the job, and I don't think anyone wants to pay that rate, and I'm not rich by any means. I know what I would make or save by spending my time on some of my properties. I don't think you want to pay me that rate. And then I just know what my free time is worth. My free time is probably worth 10 times what I would make on the job or make or save by investing my time into my business. So that's the thing, right? That time I spend with you is time I don't get to spend on my training or my kid or my wife, you know, and stuff like that. So you really can't pay me enough. Now, what is interesting is that I did have one guy named Alex who, like, for lack of a better word, nagged me so much that I said, you know what, you know, let's try this. And so I needed something from it. And I needed him to document everything that we discussed, because I think it would help me potentially train someone more efficiently in the future. So I give up some time, he gives me a document. And he was a sharp guy enough to like produce a good informative package. And we went, I don't know how long we went. It had to be a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Hurricane hits, and I just bail on the guy. You know, I'm not checking my messages, blah, blah, blah. And he's kind of disappeared to some extent. I think he understands that I'm busy. I hope he understands that I'm busy. But the guy got strong. I mean, like, you know, I think he was significantly improved, but whatever. That's why you don't see me training people. And then like typical, I think training programs, it's like $200 a month with some advice or something. I think Lachlan does it. Ryan Bowen does it. Ingen, Krasimir, Giannis. I personally would go to someone who's better than me, more educated than me, spends more time on this than me, and who has like a track record of training a world champion. So like Ingen would fall into that category, Giannis would fall into the category, and Krasimir would fall into that category. And that $200 means a lot more to them than it does to probably any American, right? I think the median household income in America is what? Maybe $5,000 a month. So $200, that can help somebody, but relative to the $5,000, it's not a whole lot. The median salary in some of these Eastern European countries is like $200 a month. So you could literally make someone like Krasimir or maybe Giannis, maybe rich by getting their services. So, you know, you're giving them the equivalent, I don't know, of like 10 grand a month or 5 grand a month, right? You're paying a median salary in their country. And you probably get better instruction because they're better athletes and they're better coaches. How's my right arm? Can you open it or still injured? Do you mean injured from the last match or just injured in general? For those that don't know, messed it up in 2018 pulling Robbie Burnett. It took me 30 days for my arm to go from here to about there. Messed it up again pulling Passmore. And not, you know, maybe it's just normal now. Maybe it's not anything question, like it's just normal. This is what happens after pulling Passmore. I get it back straight. I go to Poland and Zloty. Poland to pull IFA Worlds and Zloty in 2019. And I really messed it up there, pulling David Dadikian. Mostly rehab in 2020. Had some hard matches with Wayne Withers. Again, it'll get stiff pretty good after a tournament, but I don't think I've been injured. Right? Had some hard matches with FA in Turkey, but again, I felt good, no injuries. So I think my right arm is good, and this is kind of where it is at this point. And that's probably pretty good for an arm wrestle. Adam Hasty, I think Chance works to get what he wants with his grip well for a young guy. Yeah, I think he's smart, and I think he cares about the grip stuff. Like, personally, like I want a good grip, but like I also want to see like who's stronger. And I think I've lost some matches that way. Like, yeah, I can think of ways to like, cheat might not be the right word, but like get an advantage in the setup. But there are times where I know I'm being cheated and I go, man, I think I can still do it. Might be some arrogance there, but I kind of want to see like fair grip, right? And you have other people like that. I've pulled like Tom Nelson and Kenny Hughes, and like we go to the table, we close our thumbs, we get a grip, he's good, I'm good, and like we just pull. Do I think Blue Bowen can still be 300-pound chance? I think so. Alex 1750, a top 8 athlete was asking $100 per hour. Is that top 8 like PAL top 8? So he's a super heavy or a 95 kilo guy, or do you just mean like a top 8 guy in the world? Or a top 8 guy in the country? Like $100 an hour for consulting? Would I consider that? Probably not, because I would just tell you the information's free out there. Like I know personally, I've talked enough on podcasts that if you have like half a brain, you can go do some of the research and just apply some of the principles to exercises you see on other people's channels. So, yeah, and again, I'm not going to charge you for it. But if you actually had to, I think if I talk to you for $100 an hour, and you're smart, and you have a pen and paper, and you're actually going to listen and do it, $100 an hour is cheap. Like I would. Again, when I started, I was in college. I didn't have kids. I didn't have any liabilities or dependents, right? So if I was 20, or me when I was 20, I would have totally paid $1,000 to sit down with me for an hour, knowing that it was going to shorten my learning curve by 5 years. Oh, my son just walked in. What's up? You want to say hi to people? Say hello. Say hello. So that's Herman the third. He's getting kind of big. All right, go play. Go play. Daddy's going to finish and we can feed the pig. Why? The pig has to eat? Why? Let's see here. So Alex says the top 8 guy was a PAL top 8 guy. The shortest one. Okay, got you. People don't typically pay a trainer for knowledge that's everywhere. Be careful. They pay for accountability. So that comes from Luke Pulsher. Yeah, so then the question is, what do you need for accountability? Like, is Krasimir not enough? Or like, do you need me to shame you? Like, does that hold you more accountable? Hi, Jim. Do I think I can beat Chance? I don't know. I want to say yes. What's up, Chance? If anything, I'll say this. I think I could be, more than likely am, but probably weaker than Jordan or Don or Mike. But it's possible I would give Chance more trouble, just maybe because of the way I pull or something like this. And because I'm not going to do it in a round robin or something like that, because I would just go hard. It's like, well, I don't care about the after tournament. I'm not pulling anybody else. So like, if I got to go break arm, let's do it. But I think even if I did lose my hand, I think it would be very tough to pull through Chance. Chance is very exceptional, and this is something I like to see at like maintaining angles, right? So I'm not a fan of starting like this because I'm not good at it, but I think it's very good for him. But if you watch, this arm angle doesn't really change a whole lot, and that's one of the principles that I try to work on and maintain, like when I'm pulling. A lot of people are not good at doing this, and it's disgusting to watch. And I'm not talking about kings moving, but I mean, like if you watch Jordan, he'll top roll, like he'll go boom, right? He'll be top rolling out here, whereas Chance stays right there. And I don't know like how like just strong Chance is, but like when you maintain these tight angles, you shorten all your leverage, so it's very hard to apply pressure, a ton of pressure to it, because he's basically maximized his side pressure. You know, the side pressure that I have out here is going to be a lot less than what I can do when my arm is this tight to my body. So he's excellent at maintaining position. It's something I try to do all the time. It's something I like to see. What's up, Herman? It was going on, Chance. Good job yesterday, but let's get you a single one-on-one match versus the Ron thing sucked, missing out on that match. But I'm curious, you know, I think Robbie Burnett beat Chance Shaw pretty easy, and Robbie pulls similar to me, but I'm not nearly as strong. So I'm not saying that I could ever do that to Chance, but I don't know if Chance talked about it, but I'd be curious of Chance's comments on Robbie Burnett, and if he could do something different, or if there was some context there. Was Chance gassed for some reason? But if you guys don't know, Robbie's just that good. In general, I think he's number 6 in North America on the U.S. Arm Fighter rankings. And I mentioned before, Robbie's the one that kind of fucked me up in 2018. Seyfa from Turkey, pretty interesting guy. I met when I was out there. Very funny guy. He says he wants a 5-round match with me 1 year from now. He injured himself. I think he broke his wrist or something. Very tall top roller, very explosive. Seyfa, I'll have to think about it. Chance, basically, I'm not going to rehash it, but I went on a rant about the value of round robins. I think it was a waste. I think the only match that you can value are the first round matches. I don't think the Jordan Seal match had a ton of value other than you proving to Jordan and maybe doubters that you could beat Jordan fresh. I think Jordan was a bad match. You are a bad matchup for Jordan stylistically. And I said that I wasn't surprised that you beat Jordan that easily. But I think the round robin format is garbage. I don't think it did you any justice. I think it's definitely possible that fresh one-on-one, you beat Don Underwood, but I don't value you beating Don Underwood in this round robin, if you understand what I'm saying, because he had a match with Mike before it, and you had some easy matches. I don't like the format, and I'd be saying this if it was Jonathan Breida or Brad in this format. You know, they would come back happy that they beat everybody, and I would say, yeah. And I think that I think you definitely could beat Mike Aiello fresh for fresh. Yeah. Oh yeah. So Chance. Yeah. I know you beat Don in June fresh. So that's one thing, and that has value. But beating him yesterday in that context has no value. But again, you're probably supporting my comment that yeah, I think you'd beat him fresh. You said you already beat him fresh. I understand. Let's see here. So yeah, like I'm just curious, like, and I think you need to make a video on this. You know, it got brought up in practice the other day that you're 295. Someone said you're 303 pounds. So my question is, like, what are you eating? That's what I want to know. Wait, don't touch that. Are you eating healthy and gaining all this weight, or are you eating junk food? I'm just curious. And if you're eating junk food, are you experiencing tons of inflammation? And if you are eating junk food, are you planning to change it? Let's see here. Chance Shaw, Mike told me I would have beat him fresh for fresh. I agree, though, the format is a little funky. In my opinion, the round robin makes everything interesting. Give people like Jordan a shot to win. Chance, I think it's interesting when you're not trying to like set the table between 3 of the like 5 to 10 top 5 to 10 super heavyweights in the country. It's like we wasted, I think, some matches. But if you had a local tournament or just some event, and you said we're going to throw 10 guys into a round robin, and it's not for like it's random. It's me, it's you, it's Bowen, you know, some of this stuff, I think round robin's great. Steve Star says Chance eats gummy worms. Adam Hasty, I agree the format was strange. The order they faced off seemed wrong, maybe predetermined. The Chance looked a step above the other three. Chance Shaw, a few pounds of turmeric rice a day, tons of veggies, bison grass-fed beef, whole wheat pasta. I also eat tons of gummy bears. Interesting. Generally, that's pretty good. I've always been mostly like a meat eater, but the past year I think I've shifted like more towards like carnivore. I did it before Bowen, you know, tried to make it cool. I'll show you guys my chickens and my pig soon. I got some calves coming, so like I'm gonna really do the Bowen diet. There was a comment that showed up on my phone that seemed interesting, but it's not showing up on my computer. Oh, apparently there's a guy named Devil Raper. So, Devil Raper, are you like a devil that rapes, or are you like a super Christian, like you rape the devil? I'm curious. He said, "Hey Herman, what a fucking joke that tournament was. I hope you can convince them to change these stuff." Probably not. You know, I talk my shit on my YouTube channel, but that's about it. You're generally not going to get someone to do something different or take your advice. A lot of the arm wrestling stuff and promotion, it's really like ego. It's people wanting to like control something, you know, and do their thing. And just so you guys know, don't worry, Devil Raper said he's the second one. He's a super Christian that rapes the devil. So, well, I guess unless you're a Satanist, you might want to watch out. Let's see here. Okay, so I think that might be it. I think there's other stuff I want to talk about. It's probably going to be better for a separate video. Oh, the staking. Okay, so we talked about how the round robin kept changing. One match, and then best of three. And then now that I think about it, it was best of three, but they skipped rounds, so maybe it was right all along. It was just not communicated properly. How does this work for staking? I didn't check the stakings, but were you allowed to bet on Chance versus Mike Aiello on arm bets or on Stake Kings? Because if so, like I would want my money back because the match was severely impacted. Kind of weird. Oh yeah, T12J7 says that Satanists don't believe in Satan. I know that. I'm usually explaining that to people, but I think people understood what I meant. Wait, mommy's sleeping. You gotta let mommy sleep. I'm almost done, okay? Let's see here. Fox 8 Ball says, "Hope you're well, bro." Oh, Chance said you could only bet on the overall winner. That's still weird. But again, I guess when you're betting, you're taking into account some level of fatigue. You know that these things can mix it up, so maybe it's okay. And Chance said, "I had won before pulling Mike regardless." Yeah, but I'm saying there's a second round, right? So you pulled Don in the second round, and if there was a separate bet for you and Don, it's kind of weird because there were the matches before it. But you corrected me and said that it was for the overall winner. So if it's a four-way and I'm betting on an overall winner, I know fatigue's a problem. I have to make my bet based on that. So probably no problem there. Steve Stas says, "Herman, when is your next match?" I don't know. Before Turkey, that was the first time I think I had like a really solid training, and not great, but solid in over a year. Maybe over a year and a half, and there's arguments that I haven't trained well since 2017, but it was only 4 weeks. Tested my arm, felt good. My ultimate goal would be, can I just go through 3 months of training the way I know I can train? Can I push it? The problem is tournaments come up that are not great, But it's like interesting. We like to compete. My teammates go, Jonathan goes. I kind of like to be there, and I end up pulling, but it really detracts from my training. So I don't know. But Louisiana State is in a few weeks, I believe, and then there's another one Jonathan wants to go to at the end of July. Maybe Mississippi State. Yeah, so I may be pulling within a month. Hopefully Chance comes to Louisiana. Alex 1750 says, am I pulling IFA in September? I think that was the plan at the end of 2019 and early 2020. It was canceled. I'm not sure if that's really going to happen. It sucks that COVID is still in effect, or the COVID restrictions. So it really will be a USA Nationals, type event. And I'm really hoping, I want to do it, but I'm really hoping that there's something bigger and more interesting that comes up, right? And if something comes up in August that would prevent me from pulling in September, or if something comes up in September or October, I'd be willing to sit out of the IFA Worlds due to the COVID restrictions and the inability to make it more world level or world-like. Okay, Chance isn't coming to Louisiana. Chance is probably scared of pulling me, so, it's cool. Dave Anderson, it was annoying that the understanding of the max seemed to change after betting. I thought was 1 round per, so max of 3 rounds to determine the winner. Yeah, we talked about all that. It was kind of weird. We just shouldn't use this format, I think, for this level of match or whatever. But yeah. Okay, I think I'm good here. Anything else? I think the round robin is beaten to death. I'm pretty good at beating dead horses. But I think we'll end it there. Thanks, guys.